Hello and welcome. You're watching Good Morning India. I'm Gargi Rawat, and our top story this morning, the Congress set to have its first non-Gandhi chief in nearly 25 years as Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor face off in the party's internal election today. At least 9,200 Congress delegates across the country will be casting their votes to elect the party's 37th president since independence in an election that could change the course of the Congress. While none of the Gandhis are contesting, Kharge is seen as the proved candidate. Let's go across to our reporters. We can go across now to Sanket as well as Harsha, who joins us from Jaipur. And Sanket, so it's been an election that many are saying is a foregone conclusion. And Sunil also joining us there from Delhi. And an hour from now, expected the delegates to start the election process. Shashi Tharoor, though, did campaign quite a bit and address various press conferences and interactions, though he said that it was stacked against him.
Well, yes, Gargi, good morning. This is, of course, the first time a big election like this is happening in over 2 decades in the Congress party. I mean, you have general elections to the Assembly and Lok Sabha every 5 years, but this is, perhaps what the Congress likes to call it, internal democracy at play. 2 candidates, as you rightly mentioned, Shashi Tharoor as well as Mallikarjun Kharge. Of course, the Congress party is refusing to admit or agree that Mr. Kharge is some sort of an official candidate. There have been huge controversies around whether he is official or not. However, the party has also distanced itself from from supporting very openly and publicly any one candidate. Of course, you have got leaders in their individual capacity, very tall leaders backing this one or the other. But as far as Shashi Tharoor is concerned, quite a spirited campaign, as you rightly mentioned. He's been holding press conferences, he's been dancing, he's been, addressing gatherings, his vision, a Twitter hashtag, almost like the Conservatives in the United Kingdom. Let me just give you a sense of what's happening. See, the voting is going to begin in just a short moment from now. These are pictures right outside 24 Akbar Road, which is, of course, the Congress party headquarters. In just a short moment, we'll have lots of delegates going in. There are a total of 9,000 who are going to vote across the country at the various offices that have been created where this voting procedure is going to happen. What you see right now is preparation that is being made for the voting process to begin. Right now, you've only got media personnel who are gathered here. In just a short moment, you will have many of these delegates going into polling stations, a polling booth which has been created inside. Many tall leaders like Rahul Gandhi, they are not going to poll because he's right now in a Bharat Jodo Yatra. So he's not going to vote in New Delhi. But of course, the details of where he's going to vote in a sort of a campsite have been declared by the Congress party. So it's going to be an interesting day where the Congress, for the first time in over 2 decades, is going to elect its president and not select its president. However, that itself is a matter of great dispute, where politically you've got the Bharatiya Janata Party questioning on whether this is a fair exercise or not.
Right, Sanket, they're reporting from outside the Congress office. Yes, many questions around this election. And just a short distance away, we have Sunil, who's outside Sonia Gandhi's residence, which is very close to the Congress headquarters. And Sunil, Sonia Gandhi will be casting a vote. Priyanka Gandhi Vadra also expected to cast a vote. This is an election that some hope will change the course of the party, will make, decision-making faster, will make the party more energized. What are you hearing?
Well, Gargi, just taking the last point of Sanket, really would look forward, for the BJP to actually tell me, I've, covered Indian politics for a very long time, to see an election like we are seeing in the Congress party. Yes, Congress party has witnessed elections, but in the BJP, it's most election. And we've seen there have been no questions on JP Nadda or Amit Shah, or before that, Rajnath Singh. Of course, as everybody knows, Mr. Nitin Gadkari was made not to contest because of those income tax queries that had happened in his Pruti group just a day ahead of the elections in BJP. But having said that, yes, this will definitely, hopefully, make the Congress party thing set back, because if it has to actually take on the BJP, it has to get its own house in order. Some of the points that have been raised, be it in the Udaipur declaration, be it by Shashi Tharoor, are very, very important and critical for the Congress party. They need to address them to be able to show that they represent the youth, the young of India, with that under 50, have elections to the Congress Working Committee, ensure a more broad-based selection, and ensure that this high command culture of what you're talking about, Priyanka Gandhi, Sonia Gandhi, Rahul Gandhi, really is done away with to a great extent. They are definitely the leading force, but they definitely need to, ensure that the Congress is able to revive at the grassroots level democratically if it has to take on the BJP. Sonia Gandhi and Priyanka Gandhi are expected to come to the Congress office at around 11 o'clock to cast their ballot.
All right, Sunil, and we also have Shrija, who is outside the residence of the man who we seems tipped to be the next Congress president. Shrija outside Mallikarjun Kharge's residence there. What's happening?
Well, still not much of an activity we're witnessing at the moment. In fact, yes, he is seen as the contender, the top contender as far as the Congress president poll is concerned. And more importantly, what is to see here is especially in the next, in the short while from now, we're going to see especially where the polls will begin. This is at around 10 a.m. In fact, joining us here is Dr. Ajay Singh. Well, thank you for joining us here on NDTV. At first, we've seen, especially where Mr. Kharge was not the top contender, but after, this is towards the 11th hour. Yeah. So that's when he became the contender. But now we've been seeing time and again where Mr. Shashi Tharoor has been talking about how it's not been a level playing field. What do you think?
See, Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge is one of the senior most Congress party leader whom we have today. So the Congress party had decided that we should have a serious loyalist and someone who's already been in the party, because Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge has been in the party from almost 50 years now. So there's no question of any credibility issue at all, because he's one of the most deserving. He's worked as a leader of opposition in the Lok Sabha, leader of the opposition in the Rajya Sabha. He's worked as a union minister. He's won 9-time MLAs. He's won 2 times MP. He's been a Rajya Sabha member. So there's no question of any credibility at all. Absolutely.
So what are you sensing from the party here, from Karnataka as well? So what do you think? Who would actually, be the...
See, it's a great pride for us. Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge has been with my father, Mr. N. Dharam Singh, always. They've been together for the last 50 years. Today, if my father was alive, we would have been extremely happy. And it's a great pride for every Kannadiga, every Karnataka person that Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge has reached this post. And I think all the people in Karnataka and everywhere else also going to vote en masse in favor of him.
Well, Mr. Shashi Tharoor from the start has been talking about how especially, the party, Congress needs a complete overhaul. Now, if that is the case, like you are pointing out, it could be Mr. Kharge, because he's been the consensus candidate as well of the Gandhis. So if that is the case, what is the first organizational reform that you are looking at?
See, I'm sure that under Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, the party is going to come with more vigor, with more vitality.
What's the figure? Do you have something on your mind? Does the Congress have something on
your mind? Right now we're looking at the 2024 election as well as the 2023 election in Karnataka, where definitely Congress party is going to win. And with the big boost of Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge at the helm, it's going to help us. It's going to help.
Do you have a number already?
Number for what? For the 2024?
Both.
For 2023, I'm sure that we're going to win anywhere between 130 and 150 seats.
Okay.
And with Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge at the helm, it's going to boost at least 15% more of votes to us.
Well, thank you, Mr. Ajay Singh, in fact, telling us that, though Mr. Kharge has been the consensus candidate over here, and also Mr. Tharoor going on to say it's never been a level playing field, he himself and also various other Congress top leaders in Karnataka says that it could definitely be Kharge. Now, that is what they are hearing and sensing within the Congress party.
All right. Thanks so much for joining us with that, Shrija, and getting us that voice there. Let's go across to Harsha. And Harsha, a few weeks ago, everyone thought that, these Congress president elections would bring about great change in Rajasthan, that the chief minister would move out and you'll have a new chief minister. That was not to be. Tell us what's happening.
Yes, absolutely. I think the question on everyone's mind is not who will captain the Congress at the national level, but who will captain Rajasthan, and especially when they're going in to an election in 2023. So absolutely, Ashok Gehlot, believed to be front runner, believed to be actually in some senses the official quote-unquote candidate for the Congress president, actually dropped out of that race after a huge political fiasco where his MLAs, MLAs in support of him had a standoff with the party observers who'd come to hold a CLP and announce that Mr. Gehlot would be probably moving to the center and, leaving a one-line resolution about who the next chief minister would be to the Congress High Command. But that didn't go according to script, and actually, I would think that the political turmoil that it set off, that it triggered in Rajasthan is still simmering in some senses. The political divisions are now even more clear-cut in Rajasthan, and really the impact of who becomes the Congress president is ultimately going to be felt in Rajasthan. That's the domino effect we'll be looking at, especially since you're going into an election in 2023. So will Mr. Ashok Gehlot remain in the chair, or will they look at a younger alternative, especially because there is a section of the Congress which says that, you don't just look at 2023, you look at the next 10 years in Rajasthan. But having said that, Ashok Gehlot and his supporters have been at pains to impress on the Congress High Command that, they have the support of the majority of the MLAs, and he should at least remain in the saddle for now. So, like we say in politics, one man's meat is another man's poison. So let's just see what this meal is going to come up with. It's going to be many different things for different people. But for Rajasthan, probably its impact will be the most.
All right, Harsha, thanks so much for joining us with all those details. And Harsha and Shrija there reporting on the Congress president elections. That voting will begin in a short while from now at 10.
The Congress is all set to witness the contest between Lok Sabha member Shashi Tharoor and party veteran Mallikarjun Kharge in the party's presidential polls. The voting has in fact begun. The Congress is set to have its first non-Gandhi chief in nearly 25 years as Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor face off in the party's internal election today. Now, we're told at least 9,200 Congress delegates across the country will cast their vote to elect the party's 37th president since independence in an election that could change the course of the Congress. While none of the Gandhis are contesting, Kharge is seen as the approved Congress candidate. Right, for further updates, we're joined by my colleague Shrija, who is outside Mallikarjun Kharge's residence at the moment. Shrija, Mr. Kharge will be voting at the PCC office in Bengaluru and Rahul Gandhi in Bellary.
Well, that's right. In fact, they have set up booths, especially in Bengaluru, the KPCC office here on Queen's Road. And also, they have converted a container in Bellary district for not just for Yatris, but also for Rahul Gandhi himself. So what we understand from the Congress here in Karnataka is that at least about 503 Congress delegates will be casting their vote. And of course, what we are hearing and sensing from on ground is that most of the Congress delegates here in Karnataka, of course, they are rallying behind Mr. Kharge. They also say that he's the right candidate for the Congress president because he brings with him decades of experience and that he could be the right candidate. In fact, we also popped the very question to Mr. Kharge himself. He just left from his residence to the KPCC office, and this is to cast his vote. What we also understand from him when we asked him that Mr. Tharoor said it was not a level playing field and that he's the consensus candidate of the Congress. All that he could tell at the moment was that is not really something debatable at the moment. What we need to focus is especially who's going to be the next Congress president. Of course, he didn't really have much of an answer to talk about what is the first change that he is looking at. But he did, of course, maintain and tell us that, he will, of course, take the advice of the Gandhis because he continues to maintain by saying that he would want to take the advice of the Gandhis and going forward. And as far as Karnataka goes, he clearly looks like a consensus candidate. He has the backing of the Gandhis. But while Mr. Tharoor, he also continues to maintain how there has been a differential kind of a treatment which has been given towards him. But right now, yes, in a short while from now, in a few minutes, next few minutes, we're going to see where, in KPCC office in Bengaluru, the voting will begin. They have set up 3 booths at the KPCC office here in Bengaluru. So Mr. Kharge has already left his residence from here, right from here to the KPCC office. Even Mr. D.K. Shivkumar and also Siddaramaiah will be arriving at the KPCC office in the next few minutes or so. What's more important to note that here at Ballari, we're going to see even Mr. Jairam Ramesh. There were several other people, especially who have been, joining the rally. Especially with Mr. Rahul Gandhi. We're going to see D.K. Suresh. We're going to see several other Congress secretaries, including B.V. Srinivas himself. All of them going to cast their votes at Sanganakallu in Ballari district of Karnataka.
Shita, thank you so much for joining us with the latest. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates. Ratnadeep also joining us live at the moment. Ratnadeep, give us a sense of how this contest for the chief of the Congress party is being perceived on the ground.
That's right. This is going to be a crucial election as far as Congress is concerned, because this is for the first time in over 20 years that the Congress party is looking for a party president beyond the Gandhis, and therefore there is already there is a sense of excitement in the Congress office here in Guwahati. We are outside the polling booth. In fact, you can see already top Congress leaders. The polling has started, and top Congress leaders have already cast their votes, and they've come out. In fact, in Assam there are 291 Congress members, including Congress MLAs, MPs and office bearers of the Assam Pradesh Congress Committee who are eligible to cast their votes, and many of them have turned up early in the morning to cast their votes. This just goes to show that there is a sense of excitement among Congress leaders here. You can see here people have turned up. In fact, what is very interesting is that right from the morning we did see young Congress leaders really turning up at the Congress office, young young Pradesh Congress Committee members turning up at the Congress office, trying to queue up to cast their vote, which is perhaps a good sign for the Congress party. In fact, you can see there is a huge media contingent here at the Congress, Assam Congress headquarters. We'd like to talk to State Congress President who has just cast his vote to find out, what are the preparations here. In fact, we have Mr. Bhupen Bora, the State Congress President, with us. Mr. Bora, you have just cast your vote. You were the first person from the PCC here in Assam to cast your vote. Tell us about the preparations for the elections and also how important this is for a normal Congress worker. Because Congress, particularly in Assam, we have seen that for years together. In fact, in the last election, also after the last election, many of your MLAs also left the party. So there has been a sense of dissatisfaction among workers. Is that going to change?
See, right from Mahatma Gandhi and Subhash Chandra Bosu, there was election in the Indian National Congress. And Madam Sonia Gandhi was also elected through a process in 1997. And now I am very happy as a state PCC president that I have already casted my vote because there are 2 candidates, Mallikarjun Kharge ji and Shashi Tharoor ji, and we have total 291 delegates in Assam. And out of 291 delegates, I am very much hopeful that 99% delegate will today cast their votes. And from 19th, although there is a division because of the 2 candidates, but I am very much confident and hopeful that from 19 we will be united together and we will work together under a new leadership. And there was a rumor, or what you may call, that there is no election, there is a Gandhi family party. This time no members from the family is contested. But still, we are always with the Gandhi family because the sacrifice of Indira Gandhi, sacrifice of Rajiv Gandhi, and sacrifice of Sonia Gandhi, Congress family member cannot forget. So we will work unitedly under the new leadership and another guidance of the Gandhi family.
So there you are, the message is clear, at least from Assam, that the Congress workers and leaders who are casting their votes today look forward to a new leader, but they also look forward to what they call the guidance of the Gandhi family.
Ratnadeep, thank you so much for joining us with the latest from Guwahati. Let's also go across to Sam, who joins us live from Chennai. He's at the Congress headquarters currently. Sam, as Ratnadeep mentioned, a non-Gandhi would be at the helm after over 24 years. How are people perceiving this on the ground in Chennai?
Well, interestingly, it was Mr. Karthi Chidambaram, the Congress MP from Tamil Nadu, who was one of the nominees or signatories who had actually recommended or nominated Shashi Tharoor. And it's a kind of a divided house in Tamil Nadu Congress, Parameshwar. Many say they favor Kharge because he's a senior leader with a tremendous grassroots support. And he's also being seen as coming from the oppressed community. So that's again, they say, could work in this favor. But there are others who say the status quo ought to be changed since the Congress unsuccessfully came out in the last two Lok Sabha elections. We need a leader who could not only take the party together to the next level, hoping to break that jinx, as they call it, to be able to come out to win elections in the upcoming Lok Sabha elections, but to also take on a strong leader like Narendra Modi. They favor a fresh face like Shashi Tharoor. But on the ground, when Mr. Tharoor came, hardly a dozen candidates were present for the meeting in which he came to sort their support. But when Mr. Kharge came, almost 500 to 600 delegates had come. There was even a special Shamiana put up on at the Congress headquarters to receive him. A rousing reception was given. Responding to that, Shashi had said he would try and break the myth that Mr. Kharge was the official candidate in that sense with the blessings of the Gandhis, whereas Mr. Kharge said he cannot ask people who show love towards him to go and support another candidate. With me, Mr. Bopanna, a senior leader in the Tamil Nadu Congress. Thank you very much for your time. How does it go? What kind of system and mechanism in place here?
The system is perfect, free and fair election. After 22 years, after 2000, we are facing an election. This election, they have arranged it perfectly. PRO has come, assistant PRO also supervising the elections. We are very happy in involving historical moment in electing a president by ballot. Now,
there was criticism, sir, that the Tamil Nadu Congress leadership tacitly supported Mr. Kharge but not Mr. Tharoor because in terms of arrangements also, he was given a special Shamiana here, whereas the auditorium saw very few people for Mr. Tharoor.
The PCC members have every right to support any candidate. In Tamil Nadu, overwhelmingly, more than 99% of PCC delegates, they are supporting Mallikarjun Kharge. That reflects the reception they gave in Satyamurthy Bhavan. They are organized.
What's the leadership taking side?
The president he has not sit in the dais. He sit in the audience. He is the voter. He has every right to participate in the reception given to Mallikarjun Kharge by Tamil Nadu congressmen all over Tamil Nadu. They attended. It shows that inspiration and support of the congressmen in Tamil Nadu in the selection of candidates.
Thank you so much for your time. And the high-profile leaders in Tamil Nadu who are expected here to come on board include Mr. Chidambaram, the former finance minister, his son Karthi, besides 709 others. They say Tamil Nadu's strength in terms of Congress delegates stands second next only to Uttar Pradesh. Parameshwar.
Sam, thank you so much for joining us with the latest. I'm told we're also getting a reaction from Mallikarjun Kharge at the moment. Let's listen in.
Now we are voting.
People in Chennai are of the opinion that they want a leader who doesn't just take the party to the next level, but someone who can actually take on, they want a strong leader who can actually take on Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Also, my colleague Harsha gets us the ground report from Jaipur. Let's listen in.
Elections to the Congress president also, of course, being held here in Rajasthan. Like any other state now, there are 414 delegates who will vote. In fact, Their names are all here in these lists. If you can just show it to the camera, these are the lists of people who will vote. And interestingly, all these people are who have been selected from the 200 constituencies in Rajasthan. There are 2 members, and then there are some nominated members and ex-PCC chiefs. So that's how we come to 414, and the election is going to take place just right here is where the voting is going to happen. Now, the various observers are sitting right here. Observers from both sides, from representing Mr. Kharge, observers representing Mr. Shashi Tharoor, and a demonstration here of the ballot box. It's going to be a secret ballot, and also that ballot paper right there, that yellow ballot paper with 2 names and the ballot box. Interestingly, the election in Rajasthan actually is quite interesting, because remember, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot was actually the front runner in that race, and then he had to drop out of the race because of the standoff between his MLAs and the Congress High Command. The Congress High Command had sent in 2 political observers, and they had hoped that there would be a one-line resolution leaving the decision on the next chief minister to the High Command, but that did not play out according to script, and Mr. Ashok Gehlot had to drop out of that race. Perhaps the atmosphere here would have been completely different had he been in the race, but that's not to be. And in fact, the implication of that election is going to have a direct impact on Rajasthan. So here behind me is the booth. You can see there are these 2 booths, secret ballot. People will be voting here and then walking out. But like we were saying, the implications of that will be felt directly in Rajasthan, because what happens after the Congress president election? Rajasthan goes into an assembly election in 2023. Will they go in with a new leader, or will the same leadership continue till the end of 2023 is the larger question. Who will captain the Congress at the national level? Perhaps for Rajasthan, not as important as who will be the captain of the ship here. In Jaipur, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
Sanket Upadhyay joining us live as well at the moment. Sanket, while Shashi Tharoor has taken on this roaring campaign, pitching himself as the candidate of change, experts meanwhile have termed Mr. Kharge as the firm favourite due to his perceived proximity to the Gandhis. What does the atmosphere at the Congress headquarters indicate this morning?
Morning, Parmeshwar. Yes, I mean, a lot can be speculated on how this entire exercise is being carried out and who's official, who's Sarkari candidate, who's an individual candidate. But the point is, there is an exercise which is happening, and the Congress party is very excited about carrying out this exercise itself. Just a short while ago, in fact, my video journalist is going to show you behind me. You can see that there are many of these delegates of the Congress party who are coming one by one and voting at the party headquarters. If you can see, we'll pan a little towards the right. That is the room where the voting is taking place, where delegates one after the other are coming in and they are voting. Now, we do also have the Congress leadership who feels that this exercise is free and fair. And just a short while ago, Jairam Ramesh was here, the communications in charge of EICC, who compared Madhusudan Mistry, who is, in this context, the election commissioner, and likened him to T.N. Seshan. So basically what the Congress party wants to say is that this is free and fair. Now, number one, the result will determine whether this exercise was free and fair. And secondly, what one gathers. I'm just going by the pictures. The day the nomination was being filed, there was Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge's nomination, and then there was Shashi Tharoor's nomination on the same day. Obviously, it seemed that the full force and the might of the Congress party was at the event when Mallikarjun Kharge was filing his nomination papers.
Right.
Was that an indication, and will that necessarily translate into a greater vote share for him in these elections? And also a more fundamental question. This exercise will be carried out, but does this necessarily change what many accuse the Congress of, a high command culture? Is Mr. Kharge going to be his own man, or will he also take guidance from 10 Janpath, which is just one house away, and the people, the residents of that house, Sonia Gandhi, as well as Rahul Gandhi, who will be coming in, and Priyanka Gandhi. Sorry, not Rahul. Rahul is on Bharat Jodo Yatra. Priyanka and Sonia are going to walk from this aisle and cast their vote. We are expecting that to happen at around 11.
Right, Sanket, thank you so much for joining us with the latest. We will, of course, revert to you for regular updates. Stopping for a short break, back in a moment with much more.
Today is the voting that's taking place for the Congress president elections between Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor, with Kharge many seeing as tipped to become the next president of the Congress party. But let's now go across to my colleague Shrija, who joins us from Bengaluru, where the voting is taking place, and DK Shivkumar too has just cast his vote. Over to you, Shrija.
Well, yes, in fact, excitement is up in the air as far as the KPCC office here in Bengaluru is concerned. At least about 503 Congress delegates are going to cast their vote. And you're having a tough competition, looks like it. Mr. DK Shivkumar is joining us here on NDTV. So clearly, I'm speaking to quite a lot of Congress delegates here in Bangalore itself. They say it's going to be a clean sweep. It's Mr. Kharge.
See, it is quite obvious. He is from Karnataka with a big experience of 50 years in public life. He is a legislator since 72, and his loyalty will pay royalty. So he is a very senior man. I think that because even the opposition candidate for Kharge, he is also a very important leader, but none of them approached here, Karnataka. Quite natural, a lot of them have campaigned for Mr. Kharge here, so he will have a big sweep in Karnataka. I don't know about the other country, but with this experience, I think things may go well.
Well, just a loyalty, experience, are those the two key things enough to basically, take not just Karnataka forward, but also to 2024? Is that enough?
See, one thing, loyalty is very much important in any political system, and seniority is also important. Under his leadership, definitely the young blood also will be given more opportunity in his tenure. And for the first time after a very long gap, the Gandhi family did not contest this election, though we appealed for Gandhi family to take the lead. But ultimately their denial also has made us to see that one other candidates also contest.
Right.
I am sure that with this rich experienced leadership, Congress also will gain, and it will help the national level and the state level also. A Dalit contesting for the first time, especially from South India and Karnataka. The second Congress president opportunity which we are getting. I don't know the result after 5:30 what will happen.
Okay. Also, Mr. Shivkumar, if you can tell us about, Mr. Shashi Tharoor. He did talk about how he is going to be the candidate for change. But as far as Mr. Kharge is concerned, he spoke about how he's going to take the advice of the Gandhis and move the party forward. We have seen debacles after debacles, and that is one of the major reasons why Mr. Rahul Gandhi also resigned from the post of the president. So, are you looking at an advice for the Congress to go forward, or are you looking at for a change? And what is the change are you looking at?
See, Gandhi thought that let us give an opportunity for others. Let others also run the mantle with their experience. Definitely without Gandhis, Congress party can't survive. I fully believe in it. But still they wanted others also to head this party, and their experience will also add more strength and glamour to the party.
You are a grassroots level worker. You started from the grassroots level. Can you tell us that what is that one change that Congress very urgently needs right now? Because we have seen, we cannot deny the fact that Congress has witnessed debacles, right, in the polls, in the elections. Can you tell us that urgent change that you all are looking at?
So I think Kharge, with his experience, he will come out with his plan of action, what he wanted to do. Or even if Mr. Shashi Tharoor, if he wins, he will also come out after the result, what he wanted to do. So I don't want to comment on their plan of action. Let us wait, watch, and hear them.
Okay, now Karnataka is going to polls 2023 next year. What is the major change that you all are bringing in for Karnataka from the Congress's side? Because we have seen Congress leaders, jumping the ship. They're going to either BJP or any other parties. If you want a new leader, party president, how are you all going to ensure that your flock stays together and there's going to be that change?
Karnataka is looking for a major change in the electoral process.
What is that change? Can you tell us?
The change is people are very much adamant that they need a new government to be installed here. I think the corruption-free government, a government with good governance, the government with accountability, Karnataka people want it. I think Congress party will deliver them.
Well, thank you. That was Mr. D.K. Shivkumar speaking to NDTV. Of course, one of the major changes that he's talking about is not just for Karnataka, but also for the upcoming 2024, which he believes and other Congress delegates from Karnataka, which they think that Mr. Kharge is going to have a clean sweep. One major point that he did talk about was the loyalty. And of course, for the years of experience that Mr. Kharge carries. And that's one thing that we're witnessing right now. Speaking to a lot of delegates here in the KPCC office, quite a lot of them already have gathered inside Mr. Kharge's office, especially to wish him all the best. And in fact, we also spoke to Mr. Kharge. What he did tell us was Mr. Tharoor gave him a call this morning, wishing him good luck. And yes, it's a tough fight, a tough contest that we're witnessing at the moment. A lot of ground level workers, the grassroots level workers that we spoke to, NDTV spoke to, most of them, what they did, of course, talk about was the autonomy. Autonomy is something they basically need, and they want the autonomy to be given to the, the Congress leaders, especially to each state, rather than having just one person steering the ship. Now, that has been the focus, especially of a lot of Congress grassroots level workers here who've gathered inside Mr. Kharge's office, trying to, wish him good luck. And also, these are some of the workers who are trying to tell us that he's going to actually have a clean sweep, and he's going to win this Congress president polls. Also, more importantly, what we're looking at here on ground, because there's two different polls. Like, if we could go across to even Mr. Kharge, who's joining us, who just cast his vote, Mr. Kharge, who's the top contender for the Congress president poll as well. Just after casting his vote, he's right here. In fact, you have several of them wishing him. Well, Mr. Kharge, you've just cast your vote. Speaking to a lot of Congress workers here in Bangalore, they say it's going to be a clean sweep.
No, whether it is a clean sweep or not will be known only on 19th. How can I predict now? Because 19th is counting. And that 19th we'll come to know who is getting more votes, who is winning, who is losing. If I say now, it shows that I have got too much ego myself.
Well, Mr. Kharge, all of the leaders especially have been telling us that, and have been talking about the kind of experience that you carry with you. And that is one of the major reasons why people are looking forward to having you as their president. Now, since you've been there at the grassroots level and having been for, too many decades already in the party, what is the one major change that you're looking at in the Congress?
No, we'll declare after 19th. Now I can't tell authoritatively, now only election campaign is over. Today is voting. How can repeat the same thing? Whatever I told 10, 15 days back are continuously telling. Same thing. And same debate happened in your NDTV.
But I'm just asking as a candidate, as a normal Congress worker, what is that one change, the overall of the party that you do?
See, I told you, whatever Udaipur declaration is there, that I am going to implement one by one if I get chance. So let us see whether people are going to give me chance on 19th or not.
Well, you're talking about a chance. My final question to you, you have emerged as the consensus candidate. You're talking about a chance.
No, now consensus has gone, no. We are fighting elections. When fighting election means you have to wait till result comes. So let us see on 19th.
Well, also Mr. Tharoor has spoken about how he wants to be the candidate for a change, right? And then you spoke about how you would like to take the advice of the Gandhis going forward as well. We have seen Congress witnessing debacles after debacles, and that was, of course, with Mr. Gandhi, at the forefront, at the helm of affairs. Do you still want to talk about how still you want to go ahead with the advice of the Gandhis?
No, I told you often, same thing you should not say, because in your own debate, whatever I told earlier in Delhi, same thing I stand.
Finally, Mr. Tharoor has said this is not a level playing field.
I don't want to comment on that. Those things happened, and he himself told I did not respond for such things. I only a simple worker, and delegates and leaders asked me to contest. I have contested.
Well, thank you, Mr. Kharge, for joining us here on NDTV. In fact, telling us about how the first... Yes, of course, he did not really immediately tell us what is that major change that the Congress is looking at, whether it's going to be an overall or whether he only says that a chance needs to be given to him. And then Mr. Kharge then goes on to talk about the Udaipur Declaration, if at all a chance is given to him. But here, at the local level, when we're speaking to the Congress workers, they say it's going to be a clean sweep as far as Mr. Kharge is concerned. But while Kharge's opinion in terms of what Mr. Tharoor has spoken about, that this has not been a level playing field, he says no comments on that. Back to you.
Right, Shrija, great to get Mr. Kharge, who's being very reticent there, not really wanting to say too much right now, saying that, whatever I told you earlier in my interview, that stands, and he doesn't want to seem too egotistical by, taking it for granted that he's becoming president, even though most of the party is. But let's go across to our other colleagues also. Ratnadeep joins us from Assam, and Sam joining us there from Tamil Nadu. And Sam, I can see you're surrounded by some of the Congress workers. Over to you.
Thank you, Gargi. Well, I have with me Mr. Karti Chidambaram, the Congress MP, who was one of the signatories nominating Mr. Shashi Tharoor. Karti, thank you very much for your time. The way the campaign from Shashi Tharoor went, hardly a dozen delegates were present, and the way it's perceived that officially Mr. Kharge is seen to be the candidate of the blessings of the Gandhis. How do you look at the way it goes?
This is a grave misrepresentation and misinformation which has been carried on by certain vested interests, which have been suggesting that the Gandhi family has a preferred candidate. That is far from the truth. The Gandhi family, the Congress President Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, the former President Rahul Gandhi and the General Secretary Priyanka Gandhi have clearly said many occasions that they do not have any preferences. They would want the election to take place in a transparent and in a fair manner, and whoever is the Congress President will become the Congress President, and they will fully work with them. So this misinformation campaign has been going on, but as I tell you, welcoming parties at the airport don't decide who wins an election. Elections are won and lost on votes polled and counted, and everybody is going to be pleasantly surprised by the resonance and support Dr. Tharoor is going to get from the delegates from throughout the country on the day of counting.
You had tweeted that status quo cannot continue in the Congress. Explain to us.
Of course, status quo can't continue because that's why we are doing different things. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is something very different we are doing. It's capturing the imagination of the people. Rahul Gandhi is leading it. National attention is turned towards the Congress party. That's why we have passed many resolutions at the Chintan Shivir in Udaipur. We have to implement those resolutions which we have passed at the Chintan Shivir. We have not had two good general elections. Obviously, we need to change the way we are functioning. The Bharat Jodo Yatra is going to help us a lot, but we need to have organizational capacity to convert the resonance which the Bharat Jodo Yatra is creating into votes for the Congress party or to our alliance.
One argument being made is that Mr. Tharoor is quite articulate, well educated, but in terms of experience as a politician, they prefer Mr. Kharge. How would you?
I think today what the Congress party needs is a leader who can attract people outside the political party circle. There are committed Congress voters who will vote for the Congress no matter what. What we really need to do is not only to reach to them, but to reach to an audience.
All right, well, Karti Chidambaram there speaking out and, denying that Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge is the preferred candidate and that he is the one who's been backed by the Gandhi, saying these are all misinformation that's being spread. Let's go across to Ratnadeep, who joins us from Guwahati. And Ratnadeep, what's the voting been like there? How many delegates there?
That's right. In fact, right from the morning, we did see a lot of excitement in Assam Congress headquarters here at Guwahati. We are coming to you from the state Congress headquarters. You can see behind me is the polling booth. There is only one polling booth. There are total 291 delegates who can cast their votes, and right from 9 o'clock we did see the voters, the delegates turning up. In fact, at least 100 delegates have already cast their votes. There are 291 of them. In fact, for Assam, this is a very important election because this is one state where Congress at one point of time was very strong. You had three Congress government run by Tarun Gogoi, and then BJP came to power. But when BJP came to power, Congress not only lost the state, but Congress lost many of its top leaders to the BJP. In fact, many say that half of BJP in Assam now is all the turncoat Congress leaders. So in terms of organization, Congress has taken a hit, and it has lost back-to-back two state elections. And today, if you can see here, there are a lot of young Congress workers, delegates who have come here. We have one of them with us. We have Mr. Jayaprakash Das, who was a young leader of Congress. For the young delegates, what does this election mean? Because what we have seen when Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge came here to campaign, and then Mr. Tharoor came here to campaign, we did see that the top leadership of the Congress really supporting Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge, but the young leaders were around Mr. Tharoor. So how do you see this election?
Actually, today is a very historic day for us. We are very excited that we are going to select our own leader. Probably this is the first time. Other party don't have this type of criteria, but the Congress party has democracy inside the party. We have noticed that one is very senior person, very experienced person, and Shashi ji also senior, but he have lesser age than younger age than our Kharge ji. But we are expecting that who will be the president will work under his leadership. We are excited, and there is no division, the young and senior. We are together. We expect that senior will guide us and the young will work on their guidance.
So there you are, one young Congress leader clearly saying that this is a kind of a situation which is making the young leadership excited, because they feel even if a senior person like Mr. Kharge becomes the president, they feel that they would get a guidance in terms of taking the party work forward. In fact, we have the leader of the opposition of Assam Legislative Assembly, Mr. Devabrata Saikia here. Mr. Saikia has just cast his vote. Mr. Saikia, inside the assembly, you not only lost two elections in Assam, but you lost many of your MLAs to the BJP. So what does this election mean for the Congress in Assam? What kind of new leadership you're looking at center who can guide a rejuvenation of Congress in Assam?
This election is an internal matter, and whoever will win, we have full faith that he will lead as per the principles and ideals of the Congress party. But the opposition and others say that if someone wins, he will be in the hands of the Gandhi family and all. But I want to say that we all congressmen genuinely respect, have loyalty towards the Nehru family and Gandhi family, and no matter what the opposition say, their role will be crucial whenever the new president will get elected, and definitely only it will strengthen our party in coming days.
So there you are, the message from the Assam Congress is that whoever becomes the new president, but they're still looking forward to guidance of the Gandhi family. So that has been the scene perhaps across the other parts of the country as well.
All right, Ratnadi, thanks so much for joining us. With that, we'll slip into a short break and return with our top stories. Welcome back. Voting taking place for the Congress president elections. In Delhi, it was Mr. Chidambaram who cast the first vote. And there you can see Dr. Manmohan Singh, former Prime Minister, also casting his vote here in Delhi. Mallikarjun Kharge, one of the who is contesting to become the Congress president, casting his vote there in Bengaluru. And Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and Sonia Gandhi have also cast their vote. So there you can see Dr. Manmohan Singh casting his vote for the new Congress Congress president. It's a contest between Lok Sabha member Shashi Tharoor and party veteran Mallikarjun Kharge. In these presidential polls, the Congress set to have its first non-Gandhi chief in nearly 25 years as Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor face off. In these elections, around 9,200 Congress delegates across the country will be casting their votes to elect the party's 37th president since independence in an election that could change the course for the Congress. While none of the Gandhis are contesting, Kharge is being seen as an approved candidate, that's someone who has the backing of the Gandhis. But again, this is something that has been denied. Let's just listen into some of the comments that have been made, what Tharoor and Kharge both said after casting their votes.
Absolutely no doubt about that. Not just exactly as I predicted when I first called for an election 2 years ago. It has completely energized the party, but it's also galvanized public interest and public attention. Today I called Mr. Kharge and I wished him well, and I said that, you know, whatever has happened, we remain colleagues and friends. He's a respected elder of mine, and I look forward to working with him after this is over. And he said the same to you, he said, and I'm very grateful. We have to approach this in the right spirit. There is no enmity between us. And in that spirit, I think the Congress party should go ahead. I believe that the revival of the Congress has begun.
It's all right. It is a part of our internal election. It is not general election. So whatever we have discussed in the elections or whatever we have said, it is friendly. There is nothing. And together we have to build the party. So I think that everybody will forget after election. No, he telephoned me. He said good luck. I also said same to you.
चुनाव जो हो रहे हैं इनर पार्टी डेमोक्रेसी का प्रतीक है। चुनाव उसका प्रतीक है। कम से कम चुनाव के बहाने दोनों कैंडिडेट अपनी बात कर रहे हैं। कांग्रेस के प्रिंसिपल पॉलिसी प्रोग्राम के बारे में चर्चा हो रही है। संविधान के अनुरूप ही कांग्रेस के सिद्धांत, उनकी नीति, उसके कार्यक्रम बनते हैं। 70 साल, 75 साल हो गए देश को, उसी के आधार पर देश चलना है और चलना चाहिए। अब जब से ये सरकार में आए हैं बीजेपी वाले, तब से ये जो धज्जियां उड़ा रहे हैं संविधान की, कानून व्यवस्था रहनी चाहिए, कानून को दरकिनार करके जो फैसले हो रहे हैं, लोग जेल जा रहे हैं डेमोक्रेसी के अंदर भी कि देशद्रोही हैं, असहमति इनको बर्दाश्त नहीं होती है बीजेपी को।
Elections to the Congress president also, of course, being held here in Rajasthan like any other state. Now there are 414 delegates who will vote. In fact, their names are all here in these lists. If you can just show it to the camera, these are the lists of people who will vote. And interestingly, all these people are who have been selected from the 200 constituencies in Rajasthan. There are 2 members, and then there are some nominated members and ex-PCC chiefs. So that's how we come to 414, and the election is going to take place just right here is where the voting is going to happen. Now, you know, the various observers are sitting right here. Observers from both sides, from representing Mr. Kharge, observers representing Mr. Shashi Tharoor, and a demonstration here of the ballot box. It's going to be a secret ballot, and also that ballot paper right there, that yellow ballot paper with 2 names and the ballot box. Interestingly, the election in Rajasthan actually is quite interesting, because remember, Chief Minister Ashok Gehlot was actually the front runner in that race, and then he had to drop out of the race because of the standoff between his MLAs and the Congress High Command. The Congress High Command had sent in 2 political observers, and they had hoped that there would be a one-line resolution leaving the decision on the next chief minister to the High Command, but that did not play out according to script, and Mr. Ashok Gehlot had to drop out of that race. Perhaps the atmosphere here would have been completely different had he been in the race, but that's not to be. And in fact, the implication of that election is going to have a direct impact on Rajasthan. So here behind me is the booth. You can see there are these 2 booths, a secret ballot people will be voting here and then walking out. But like we were saying, the implications of that will be felt directly in Rajasthan, because what happens after the Congress president election? Rajasthan goes into an assembly election in 2023. Will they go in with a new leader, or will the same leadership continue till the end of 2023 is the larger question. Who will captain the Congress at the national level? Perhaps for Rajasthan, not as important as who will be the captain of the ship here. In Jaipur, Harsha Kumari Singh, NDTV.
Voting in the Congress party is presently underway. Vivek Tankhaji is with us. Tankhaji, you've done the exercise?
I have voted. I have voted.
Does it feel like
I was the third person to vote today.
Third person to vote. Okay. How is this different? I mean, your opponents would say that this is not an election, it's a selection. There is a Sarkari candidate and then there is a person who's fighting in an individual capacity.
I hold this election as a very high precedent value. Congress, by setting this agenda on the table, that you should have transparent election for president's post of a political party, has set an example which will be very difficult to emulate by other political parties. No other political party in today's context and setup is holding a transparent election for the post of president. So I congratulate the Congress leadership. I can tell you one thing, we had two excellent candidates contesting. One is Kharge ji, with 50 years of legislative experience, a very thorough gentleman, reliable person, bharoseman व्यक्ति. And the other side was my friend Shashi, who's Hindi में कहते हैं आकर्षण का केंद्र. and believe me.
So, I mean, is this what the election is about? Experience versus good looks?
Akarshan ka kendra, Shashi. And when I travel with Shashi, I mean, we are good friends. And so there are people.
I get a sense of where you must have voted.
No, I have voted for somebody who I felt was the appropriate choice for the party.
Okay. But again, my point is, while the party is undertaking this exercise and congratulations are in order, but do you think that necessarily something is going to change in the Congress party vis-a-vis a high command culture, which is often a criticism that comes your way?
The election...
Whoever is the president, someone else will call the shots.
The election itself is a huge step forward. This election itself is a huge step forward. Could you ever think of an election in such a transparent manner in the political system? At least in my experience, I saw it for the first time. So that's why I congratulate the Congress High Command for this. Number two, it's a test for other political parties also. BJP and other political parties will also have to come forward and tell the world that how are they electing their presidents. So I'm happy. We have a very good election process taking place. The process is a victory for the Congress.
Mr. Praveen Chakravarti is with us. Sir, we just saw a write-up of yours also in which you said that this is the plumbing of inner party democracy. Would you like to explain the context in which this exercise is taking place?
Yes, sure. See, the idea was, big words like inner party democracy and all of that are often bandied about. But I wanted to show that how it is actually a very thankless, complex and very messy logistical operation. So I was merely pointing out that this required 943 returning officers working for over a year under the institutional setup of Central Election Authority, chaired by a person like Madhusudan Misri who has the confidence of everybody. And this is what is needed to actually execute internal party democracy and internal elections.
Do you feel, Mr. Chakravarti, yet especially an exercise like elections within a party will attract criticism that this exercise may not have been fair? The allegations of one person being a Sarkari candidate and the other fighting in an individual capacity.
No, see, in fact, I would point out, I know what you're referring to, I would point out to Dr. Shashi Tharoor's own statement to the media yesterday that the Central Election Authority and its chairman, Mr. Madhusudan Misri, have been extremely fair and have ensured a level playing field. Now, what happens outside, whether people canvass for a particular candidate or not, is not something that should be or can be controlled by the Central Election Authority.
Let me ask you a question. How does the election procedure or the electoral officers ensure that there is fairness in an internal election like this?
So I will explain to you. First, anyone was free to contest. With all they needed was signature of 10 other delegates out of the 9,900 delegates. Second, the voting is through a secret ballot. Third, there has been official statements multiple times that there is no official candidate of the party, and we've also gone on record to say that there is no candidate that is endorsed by the current leadership of the party. Number four, the people are free to cast their vote according to whoever they want, because it cannot be, it's a secret ballot. And number five, the counting is all mixed, and it's done in a manner in which there will be absolute secrecy. So what is people
which means you will not be able to identify who's voted for whom.
Absolutely, that's what the essence of a free and fair election is. So everyone who is entitled to vote will vote and can vote, and their vote will be a secret, and they can vote entirely according to their conscience. And this is the bedrock of a free and fair election, and that's why I think the Congress party election is free and fair.
Going forward, do you feel that this could become some sort of a template? While people may accuse on whether this exercise is fair or not, but the exercise itself will be held nonetheless.
See, I'll tell you, the process of an election by definition is thankless. Because there will because there will always be winners and losers. There will be happy people and grumpy people, right? So and this is partly the reason why I think many political parties don't even embark on this. But so we're not that bothered about the so-called criticism that you refer to. Now, should other parties engage in this or not is not for me to say. I know that the Congress party is held to a higher standard, but it should be held to a higher standard. We are the party.
Because this exercise in the Congress also is being held after more than 2 decades.
Absolutely, absolutely. So that is why you see the excitement. You see that there is actually, as we speak now, there are 50 people that are voting and thousands of kilometers away in the middle of a campsite for the Bharat Jodo, where the Bharat Jodo Yatris are voting, including Mr. Rahul Gandhi. So there is excitement all over, and it is clearly, it's sort of reviving the party internally, because there's an election after 20 years.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Chakravarti. Thank you.
Well, voting is currently underway across the country for elections for Congress president. In Delhi, it was Mr. Chidambaram who was the first to cast his vote. Former Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh also cast his vote a short while ago. It's a contest between Lok Sabha member Shashi Tharoor and party veteran Mallikarjun Kharge in the party's presidential polls, the first polls in 22 years. The Congress is set to have its first non-Gandhi chief in nearly 25 years as Kharge and Tharoor face off. At least 9,200 Congress delegates across the country are casting their vote to elect the party's 37th president since independence. While none of the Gandhis are contesting, Kharge is seen as the approved candidate. There you can see Priyanka Gandhi Vadra casting her vote. Both Kharge and Tharoor said that they had wished each other all the best this morning.
Absolutely no doubt about that. Not just exactly as I predicted when I first called for an election 2 years ago. It has completely energized the party, but it's also galvanized public interest and public attention. Today I called Mr. Kharge and I wished him well, and I said that, you know, whatever has happened, we remain colleagues and friends. He's a respected elder of mine, and I look forward to working with him after this is over. And he said the same to you, he said, and I'm very grateful. We have to approach this in the right spirit. There is no enmity between us. And in that spirit, I think the Congress party should go ahead. I believe that the revival of the Congress has begun.
It's all right. It is a part of our internal election. It is not general election. So whatever we have discussed in the elections or whatever we have said, it is friendly. There is nothing. And together we have to build the party. So I think that everybody will forget after election. No, he telephoned me. He said good luck. I also said same to you.
All right, so both the candidates there are saying that they had spoken and wished each other the best. They've been at pains to say that the Gandhis have not had any sort of role to play in this election, though Shashi Tharoor has been saying that he found a kind of bias against him, and that many people, even refused to meet him as he campaigned quite energetically in various states ahead of this election, though many see it as a foregone conclusion that Mallikarjun Kharge is going to be the next president of the party. Those results will be declared on the 19th. Kharge, on his part, has already said that he wants to take everyone along, and he will not shy away from asking advice and opinion from the Gandhis if he is elected. He says he believes in collective decision-making, while Tharoor has pointed to what he called difference in treatment and a bias and also an uneven playing field, and let's just listen into what Sonia Gandhi had to say after she cast her vote.
Ma'am, are you happy? Ma'am, are you happy? Ma'am, are you happy?
All right, so Sonia Gandhi saying she's been waiting for this for a long time. Remember, Rahul Gandhi stepped down as Congress president 3 years ago after the rout in the 2019 elections. And even after that, no matter how many Congress leaders requested and beseeched him, he has refused to come back as the president. He's currently leading the Bharat Jodo Yatra, and that is why the elections then necessitated, though they also took a long time in coming, and finally today elections taking place. Remember, there was a controversy as well, as earlier Ashok Gehlot, the Rajasthan chief minister, was seen as someone who was tipped to be the next president, so then he dropped out of that race. Let's go across to Shrija now, who joins us from Bengaluru, and Sam joining us from Chennai. Shrija, first to you. You spoke to Mr. Kharge earlier today and asked him about his plans as president, and he said, I don't want to be presumptuous, but yes, across to you, what's it like right now, the voting?
Well, reporting outside the KPCC office here in Bengaluru, what we understand from the Congress workers and the delegates is that at least 80% of the voting is already over. More importantly, because the Bharat Jodo Yatra, which is ongoing, we're also looking at where Mr. Rahul Gandhi and other Congress delegates have cast their vote in Sanganakallu poll booth, which is in Ballari district. But, to talk about more what's happening right outside KPCC offices, joining us here on NDTV is Mr. UT Kader, the Congress MLA. What we have been seeing from the start is that Mr. Kharge was he gave his nomination at the 11th hour. He was the last candidate to just come forward and file those nominations. What do you think? Because Mr. Tharoor has said this has not been a free and fair elections. And do you still think that it's not been a free and fair elections because Mr. Kharge emerged as the consensus candidate?
See, this is the free and fairmost election in democracy. And Congress has always believed in democracy, maintained democracy, and protected democracy. And this election also, it's a democratic way it takes place.
But Mr. Tharoor has said there has been, a form of preferential treatment which was given to Mr. Kharge.
Kharge is a senior most leader. What is my political age? He has done his experience. Like many senior leaders also. Like what may be Shashi Tharoor also is a Congress cadre. But his political experience is there. Kharge has completed whole of his, not even so much term, that long term. Yes, when you compare to each other. Today, Kharge is from Karnataka. We are proud. He's a national leader. He has done long term. His experience as an administrative organization everywhere. So for us, he is a suitable.
You were telling us about the organization. I believe this entire Congress, president election has been necessitated after Mr. Rahul Gandhi stepped down as the president. That's because after poll debates. And what is that organizational change are you looking at with the new upcoming president?
See, once AICC, all the members and PC members selects a AICC president, He'll have a discussion. They'll have a formula how the organization to take
I believe
place.
even your your opinion matters in the Congress, right? Because you're a Congress leader yourself. Can you tell us what is that change you're looking at? One change.
See, our opinion will be told to our leaders, not to the public and
What's your
media.
opinion? What is one major change? What's the first change you're looking at?
See, every changes, every whatever should be the party stand, how the organization should take place, how we should strengthen the party, everything, whatever Rahul ji and Sonia ji and other senior leaders who have done in before, how to take it much more in a better way. This will be all discussed by the ACC president, with the senior leaders. They will take, and whatever opinion is there, we'll have a discussion with our president and our senior leaders only.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Kader. That was Kader, the Congress MLA, speaking to us. Yes, of course, it's going to be organizational changes, but not being very clear, not being very explicit about what are the changes that he as a party worker is expecting, but does talk about that, yes, after the poll debacles, that there's going to be an organizational overhaul. Now, that is something we are still waiting to hear from Mr. Kharge. What are his plans like? Just, some time ago when we spoke to Mr. Kharge, what really are going to be his first responsibility towards Congress. He did talk about saying that it's going to be the Udaipur declaration that he did mention, but what are certain, organizational changes that he is going to bring about, if at all he's elected as a Congress president, that is still not made known. But he did go on to talk about that if at all he wants to say. Looks like he has got a list of plans in terms of the organizational change that he wants to bring about, but does not really want to make it explicit because he says he does not want to come across as an authoritative person. Back to you.
Right, Shrija, thanks so much for joining us with that. And yes, many hoping in the Congress that this will re-energize the party. The cadre really waiting, for something like this. Let's go across to Sam, who joins us from Chennai and Tamil Nadu as well. Congress really hoping for, fresh energy there. Sam, so you've been speaking to various delegates who've been coming to cast their vote. What have they been saying?
Well, mixed reactions coming from the delegates in Tamil Nadu. In fact, Tamil Nadu accounts for 711 delegates, Karthi. And in fact, interestingly, it was Mr. Karthi Chidambaram, the Congress MP, who had signed nominating or proposing the name of Shashi Tharoor. And when he came for campaigning, there was a very disappointing response because only a dozen delegates were present. But later, when Mr. Kharge had come, there was kind of an overwhelming response, a rousing reception given to him, leading to accusations and allegations that the state Congress leadership was acting in a biased way, looking at Mr. Kharge as a candidate who has the support or the tacit support of the Gandhis in the Congress, although they have clarified that they stay neutral. And many say that it's time the Congress has kind of a new leadership, someone like Shashi Tharoor, because, for example, Karthi Chidambaram says he is someone who has a huge following, both for his articulation, both for his writings, not just in the Congress, but also outside the Congress. And that kind of a candidate is the leader of the art. But there are others who argue that it's just not someone's communicative skills, but also someone who can take the party, the leaders, the cadre along. Someone like Kharge, who has a rich experience as a politician, as a leader, and they prefer his leadership. And with me, Ms. Vijay Dharani, the Congress MLA. Thank you very much for your time. Have you voted?
Yes, I have voted.
And one accusation is that the Tamil Nadu Congress leadership was acting in a kind of a biased way, favoring tacitly Mr. Kharge's candidature and turning a kind of a cool shoulder towards Mr. Tharoor.
No, that may be certain allegations, but the PCC delegates, as such, they have made up their mind. They know very well whom to vote, and definitely it is a democratic process that's being followed. Good in Congress party, nearly about more than 30 years after, we are having a election with the most democratic manner. So I think the PCC delegates have decided their mind very clearly how to vote and what to vote. And
Congress lost 2 consecutive elections. And what kind of a change as a delegate you want to happen at the leadership level?
But insofar as our Indian National Congress is concerned, we strongly give our opinion that there should be total restructuring from the grassroots positions to the topmost position. Whoever is being elected as the national president, I strongly feel he will be doing the job very well. Both the contestants are from South India, and the overwhelming thing is because they both are South Indians.
Lastly, it's good to have elections at the internal level in a national party like yours, but still many delegates look up to the Gandhis for some kind of a signal who they should vote for. That's not good for democracy, right?
No, this, see, in the Congress party, minus the Gandhi family, doesn't mean anything for the party. Least the last cadre also would watch what the Gandhi family says. That's very important in the Congress party. But however, the respected Gandhi family has made it very clear they are not supporting anybody, and this democratic process will have to be followed. They have told it very clear, and they are not indicating any particular person. Had they done it, there need not be election at all.
A choice?
No, we are not supposed to say our choice. It is a secret ballot. Definitely, the Congress party cadres will choose the correct person, and it will be accepted as a whole by the Congress family, in entire India. So we will wait and watch. It is going to be good.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your time. That was Congress MLA Vijay Dharni talking to us, Gargi. But in a sense, many say there's no word or tacit signal from the Gandhis. It's up to them. But on the ground, from what we see, there is a kind of a strong support for Mr. Kharge. But Mr. Karthi Chidambaram, who supports Shashi Tharoor, says there could be a pleasant surprise as well.
All right, Sam, thanks so much for joining us with that, and Shrija for getting us some voices there of, all the Congress candidates casting their votes. It's a contest between Mallikarjun Kharge and Shashi Tharoor. Voting is underway, and the new Congress president's name will be announced on the 19th. Let's now listen in to what Siddaramaiah had to tell us.
Well, joining us here is the leader of the opposition, Mr. Siddaramaiah. In fact, so everybody has been predicting it's going to be a clean sweep for Mr. Kharge.
Pardon?
Everybody has been predicting that Mr. Kharge is going to have a clean sweep.
It is expected Kharge would win in this election, particularly in Karnataka. All voters voted in favor of Mallikarjun Kharge.
You've been also a grassroots level worker. You've been seeing how Congress has been functioning over the years. What is that one change that you're looking at for the Congress?
Pardon?
What is the one change you're looking for Congress?
One seat.
One change. What is the change you're looking?
One state.
Change. No change.
See, it shows that in Congress party there is internal democracy is there, and the election is taking place in a democratic manner. So overwhelmingly all voters will vote Mallikarjun Kharge ji.
Okay. You said all the workers are voting for Mr. Mallikarjun Kharge. Why is that? What is the change you want?
No, because of his contribution, his service in the Congress party. Since 50 years he has been in Congress party. He is loyal to the party. He worked in various capacities. Therefore, naturally people will think that Kharge will be the proper candidate, and he will be deserved for this post, and he will do justice in this party, and he will build the party in a proper manner, in a democratic manner.
Okay, well, thank you. That was Mr. Siddaramaiah talking about how with Mr. Kharge, if at all he's going to take over as the president of the Congress. Now, there are quite a lot of changes that's expected, not just for Karnataka, which is going to polls in 2023, but also to 2024 as well. In Bengaluru with Govind Shrija for NDTV.
And let's now go across to Jaipur, across to Harsha, who joins us from there, and tell us about the voting taking place over there. Harsha, also Ashok Gehlot earlier coming and casting his vote.
Yes, in fact, Ashok Gehlot is still here, Gargi, and he seems to be in a good mood. He's enjoying himself. He's meeting people. He came out and he met the press, and of course he gave those very interesting replies. Because remember, the whole context of this election has a direct repercussion on Rajasthan. Mr. Ashok Gehlot was actually considered a front runner for the post. He'd also said that he will, file his nomination before he dropped out of that race when there was a standoff between his MLAs and the Congress High Command. So right now, when we were talking to him, are there any, has there been a divide between you and the Gandhi family? He said there's no divide, and very interestingly, he said after the 19th, my relationship with them will be what it has been for 50 years. Also, he talked about experience, saying that experience always counts. So that was a clear hint, I think, to Sachin Pilot, who I think will be casting his vote in Delhi. He is not here in Jaipur. But yes, it's very interesting. Like you're saying, a lot of the echoes when people are coming out, they are talking about Kharge, perhaps the officially backed candidate. So, even though there is an election to the Congress party president, how much of it an election is it, and how much of it is really some kind of a, in the voters' mind, the people who are voting, they're obviously voting and backing the winning horse. But having said that, what will happen in Rajasthan, whereas as of now, Ashok Gehlot is getting ready to go to Gujarat for the elections are coming up, though they haven't announced the date yet. And in fact, he did point out that while Himachal Pradesh has been announced, Gujarat has not been announced. And he has been made in charge for Gujarat. So clearly, they're not going to rock the boat here, at least till the Gujarat elections are over. And then, of course, once the new Congress president is there, as Mr. Ashok Gehlot said, he will answer all our questions, because the biggest question is who's going to be chief minister in Rajasthan? Will Ashok Gehlot remain, or will he make way for someone younger?
All right, Harsha, thanks so much for joining us. With that, so voting underway for the Congress president elections, and there we got you, views from across the country. It's Shashi Tharoor versus Mallikarjun Kharge. The results of the election to be announced on the 19th. Sonia Gandhi, when asked by the media about having cast her vote, and she said, I've been waiting a long time for this. We'll slip into a short break and return with more. Stay with us.